Israel has agreed to daily 4-hour humanitarian pauses in areas north of Gaza. U.S. officials announced Thursday. The pauses, meant allow civilians travel safely southern Gaza, come amid an increasingly dire humanitarian crisis as Israel continues one of the most densely populated places on the planet. According to Israeli officials, the windows have allowed the movement of 100,000 people so far. However, with more than 11,000 Palestinians killed and calls for a ceasefire growing louder, it is unclear whether safe routes and stops are sufficient. The new agreement is a result of U.S. pressure on Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And National Security Council spokesman John Kirby told reporters the new policy resulted from President Joe Biden's personal leadership and diplomacy. But Biden apparently failed to secure longer-term ceasefire. He sought to secure the release of hostages. Politico reported Thursday. The United States continues to provide military aid to Israel as it has for decades. Biden has requested an additional $14.3 billion fund Iron Dome and other air missile defense systems. U.S. officials also expect the daily pauses allow more humanitarian aid to enter Gaza, as residents were able to receive only a small portion of basic needs through aid agencies before the war. Israel has been blockading Gaza for past 16 years since Hamas took control of the territory. Food, medicine and fuel are provided by United Nations other organizations. Although pauses have provided some security for people fleeing Israeli operations in northern Gaza, the scale of humanitarian crisis there remains overwhelming. More than 11,000 Palestinians were killed by Israeli forces in Gaza last month, and resources such as food, clean water and fuel are dangerously limited. The south, where nearly 2 million people are expected to be sheltered as Israel continues its war against Hamas. Over the past 3 weeks, Israel has conducted night raids and campaigns in northern Gaza before launching a phased offensive. The Israel Defense Forces announced earlier this week that it had surrounded Gaza City, the northern population center that Hamas considers the center of its operations. On Friday, just a day after the humanitarian shutdowns were announced, broke out around hospitals in Gaza City, including Al-Shifa hospital, where hundreds of seriously ill and injured patients are treated and thousands of civilians are sheltered. It is in serious danger, casting doubt on the effectiveness of humanitarian pauses. Getting people out, getting help. Israel initially gave estimated 1 million people living in northern part of Gaza Strip 24 hours evacuate to south so that it could conduct military operations, including launching airstrikes and destroying tunnels used by Hamas. According to various humanitarian organizations, including UN, initial request for evacuation was impossible to comply with. The lack fuel for cars, especially given ongoing conflict.